guess just any initial thoughts on the seating for nationals?
It looked like it was pretty in line with the coaches' rankings. They're just numbers in the bracket. You just got to be ready to wrestle. Everyone's ready. Those guys, every single person that's qualified for the nationals, they're there, for a reason. Just got to be ready to go.
Is there a matchup you're most excited for one of your guys?
Just excited for all of them. I think the national tournament is what we've been preparing for since the day we got on campus. And now we get a chance to go wrestle in this tournament and represent our university. And just looking forward to it.
David, obviously, Reese had a pretty good resume, but just how has he been handling that? Just obviously 6th year, hoping to make some noise and gets left out.
Yeah, it's it's tough in wrestling. It's one of those things where you get to control the outcome most of the time. Pretty much it's like what makes wrestling special. When you leave it in someone else's hands, then anything could happen. Even when you're competing, if you it's a close match and you leave it up to a decision, then you don't know how it's going to go. He could have got in, but he didn't. But he's had a good attitude. Reese has had a great attitude this whole season. He's obviously been a veteran. He's really helped us out in some duels, and just my conversation with him after the conference was like, hey, I don't know how this is going to go. I think you could get in, but maybe you don't. And obviously you're a part of this team. You've helped us get here. It'd be great for you to still be a part of this. And he's like, yeah, I got you, coach. I'll, no matter what happens, I'm in there. And he's been in here this week helping our guys. He's with Troy yesterday, and I just think it speaks about his character. Which is awesome.
What did you think at 149? T, I thought did relatively well at the Big 12 and gets the big toe.
Yeah, I think at 149, he doesn't really have many matches, So if you're looking at it just from a outside view looking in at 149, it's kind of comparing resumes, just see names and records and things like that. So, but he's in this bracket because we was going to scrap, right? And he's going to get an opportunity to scrap right off the rip, and he's excited to do that.
How important is this time for him, now that he's had some action on the mat at 149, now kind of preparing for what's ahead?
I think his choice to wrestle this year, he was pretty determined in what he wants to go do. We've seen Wyatt Sheets, right? His example, he gets in the tournament and wasn't really supposed to be there. He's wrestling day. He was supposed to have ACL surgery, becomes an All-American. So I just think there's stories every single year. You just got to believe. You got to want to be there, and you got to believe. He wants to be there. He believes in his abilities, and he's gonna have to scrap. 7-minute matches. But yeah, he's excited. He's got a smile on his face. Just when I walked in there, a big smile on his face. He's just looking forward to competing. And that's when you got a competitor. That's what you want out of him.
In terms of practice partners, do you know which guys you're bringing up, which guys you're not, and kind of what goes into those decisions?
The NCAA we can only travel a certain amount of people.
Okay.
So we're traveling. Our guys are up wrestling, and I think we have people that are going out that want to support our team. But ultimately, we got 9 guys going. They've been training with each other all year, and our coaches wrestle every single day. So we got to feel pretty set with the practice partners.
So you wouldn't be allowed to take Reese just to take him?
Yeah, we're limited to party that we can bring.
David, how much are you? I know you talked about from a team standpoint all the time, but just for you, how much are you looking forward to your first opportunity to coach at national tournament?
Yeah, the national tournament's it's the pinnacle in our sport. I remember as a little kid going and watching it, and it just your lenses change. I remember as a little kid going and watching guys that I looked up to and watched them competing, and then I was competing in the tournament. And then I was part of the broadcast for a period of time. So your lens changes and how you're watching it, and now getting a chance to go and be as a coach. I just think it's a national tournament. Looking forward to being there, but nothing's changes. Just being a staple for the guys, and if they need a little excitement, give them a little excitement. If they need to calm them down. But ultimately, the Hayes in the barn, our guys are prepared, and we're going to wrestle great this next weekend, and we just got to go out and shake hands and be ready to go.
Any significance going back to Pennsylvania and Philadelphia?
just where the national tournament is this year. You know,
You know your way around the city, though.
I've not been to Philadelphia too many times.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
no. My freshman year, I wrestled the nationals there, and it was a little far away from where I live. Drove through a few times, but yeah, we're going up there to wrestle the tournament. We're not going to sightsee in Philly, you know. So
No.
we got to get up there and be ready to go.
Is that sort of surreal that your first time as a competitor was in Philly, your first time as a coach, it's in Philly? Is that sort of surreal for you?
I think timing in life is there's no coincidences, you know. But at the same time, like it rotates, and it's just where it's hosted this year, you know. But Pennsylvania's wrestling, it's rich in tradition, right? I mean, I think it's going to be an exciting tournament. It's going to be a great environment, and just get ready to go.
Do you remember your first time at the national tournament competing? What it felt like the days before, and what it felt like the first time you actually went out and got on the mat?
Yeah, I mean, I remember just being excited to compete. You know, I just think what was unique about my freshman year is I was wrestling with my hair on fire. I was trying to score the entire time, and I think in the tournament was going out with the same mentality. It cost me a little bit in the finals, but that just is what it is, you know. So I think, but I think just I was excited to compete, you know, and I think that's what our guys are. They're excited to go out and compete.
Looking back again to Tulsa, one central theme to Sunday night was a lot of sudden victory, tiebreakers, a lot of extra wrestling. Is there anything you do knowing you're going to nationals, everybody's good, you're going to get a lot of overtime situations that you work on? Just, hey, here's an overtime.
I mean, we practice those situations all year. We're prepared. I mean, I think the best way you prepare is you don't go to overtime. You know, you get it done in regulation. I think that's probably the message this week is just, hey, believe in our scoring. A little more urgency. You know, we don't have to wait to the end because now in overtime our margin for error is pretty small. You know, so I think just being a little more urgency before we get there. But the best practice is competition, right? And the best practice for overtime matches is doing that. You know, and now it just said, hey, well, now this week our reps will be a little more meaningful. You know, our reps in these situations, or short time ride outs, or whistle starts, or shelving the leg and finishing. Just be a little more meaningful, and believe in our guys, and we're ready to go.
Were you able to watch what was going on with Troy and the cautions?
Well, there were a lot of cautions on both sides. You know, I think I was watching it, I was sitting right there, but it was going both sides. So I think just maybe the first match of the night. Yeah, just part of wrestling.
So it had nothing on his part really. It was just kind of one of those things, and nothing.
Well, I just think the starts were just, you know, the cadence of the start. Sometimes you're, you know, one caution and there's a little gamesmanship on the other guy, and then, you know, then you're thinking about having a caution, and then I think after those, you know, whatever, there was like 4 in a row, and then I just think the guys settled in, and the whistle was blown a little quicker.
I'm not saying good or bad, but how every sport has this issue. Consistency in officiating. And when you get to nationals, you know, you're getting a lot of different officials from a lot of different parts of the country that can, just a couple of little things can be different about the way the official conducts a match.
We just got to control what we do. We got to go out and score. You know, I think it's just having that first period where we're going out and scoring points, and you just that's the best thing you can do as a competitor.
And I'm not saying you don't want your wrestlers thinking, oh, this guy did me earlier this year and it wasn't good. You don't want that. I get that. But as a coach, you can maybe influence the future of the sport. Is there a problem? And do we need to get a little more consistency, or are you okay with what's going on?
I got enough things I got to worry about. Going down that route's not
Forget
going to
the
help
question.
me,
Okay.
you know.
Drop. I get it.
It's just, but it's a sport. I mean, they're doing the best they can. I mean,
Right.
there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, you got 2 refs. They're circling around the mat. They're doing the best they can, and I think we got to let them do what they do. We got to do what we do. We make it easy on them. We go score points, you know. So I think that's our message. We just got to go score points.
You talked about your first national tournament. It'd be a lot of your guys' last national tournament. Are there different emotions going into that, knowing that it's going to be your last time putting on a college singlet and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be. I just think the idea is our guys they want to go wrestle, you know, and I think you've just seen there's a lot of stories of guys that go out, it's the last tournament, and have a great tournament, you know. It's just great things happen when you're hungry and you want to be there and you stay in the fight and you keep scoring. And that's just what we've done all season. And I just told the guys, it's about belief, you know. You just got to believe in your skills and your abilities and your preparation and the plan that we put in place for you guys, which they do. And that's the best that we can do going in this tournament. And whether it's your first tournament or your last tournament or somewhere in between, you get a limited amount of times to wrestle a national tournament and make the most of them.
You mentioned going to this event as a kid. Like, how old were you? Do you remember where you went and any specific memories from that event?
I do. My first one I went to, I'm pretty certain it was in Detroit, and I forgot my contacts at home. We were sitting way up tall, and I could hardly see what was going on, you know. And that was a learning lesson. Make sure you bring extra pairs of contacts. But yeah, I just remember the energy of the national tournament, and just was like, man, I was like, I couldn't wait to be there. You know, I couldn't wait to be there. And then the national tournament's just a special tournament. It's just like no other tournament in the world, with just everything that goes into it, and it's just such a great opportunity for our guys to be able to go wrestle there.
So were you like high school age or even younger than that?
Yeah, maybe a little younger than that. Maybe a little younger, but right around that time.
Another goofy question. Not necessarily wrestling, but did you ever run into any celebrities? Because I know when it's been in Oklahoma City, St. Louis, I mean, I've seen there's some people in show business and people in some pretty famous people that like to come to the NCAA wrestling championships. No?
I was kind of focused on just going out and wrestling, you know.
Yeah.
But
you didn't look up at the stand and say, "Oh,
not too
wow."
much.
I mean,
Not too much. But
okay.
I think wrestling is drawing more and more eyeballs, and we're appealing to bigger and bigger markets and people, and it's a great sport to watch. I think it's a great sport. It's becoming more and more competitive. The skill of these kids is continuing to increase. So yeah, I mean, having those kind of people in attendance and watching and talking about it is good for our sport.
All good?